Part 49. Let's go. So, for everyone who's made it this far, kudos to you. This is an insanely long series. I think this is the longest series I've done ever on this channel. So now we're getting to the part of my personality where you're going to hear me not be as clad as my other videos. So if you hear any of my corny jokes, throw a comment in the YouTube algorithm as for how bad it is, because that always makes me smile. So that all being said, let's continue onward and upward. We're working on search. We're going to continue here. Excuse all of my poor jokes. Let me go and give this a build and run in the simulator. And as soon as it decides to launch and get its life together, we're going to continue building search. So in the last video, what we did is we made sure that the no results view actually shows up, which is cool. We also set up the table view to show up, which is for locations. That's the type of view we're using in this search results view because these are in fact table view cells. So if I search for Earth, and if I hit search, we'll see this yellow thing shows up. Now in this video, what we'll do is, well, we'll see how far we get, but we're definitely gonna have the location results show up. So let's get to it. Cool, so let me jump back to our views folder, and in our RM search results view, we have created that table view already, and we are essentially setting it to not be hidden here when we call setup table view. I guess the other thing that we want to do is say it has a delegate of self and a data source of self as well. And I think we registered the cell for the location table view cell right up here, which is awesome. So what we'll want to actually do is we want to hang on to this view model in some way, shape, or form. So this view, or view models, I should say. In this case, view models, if we just look at autocomplete, is a collection of location table view cell view models. So let me actually pass this into the setup table view function, and we can hang on to them in there. So here I can say self.location cell view models will be view models, which will be our input here, rm location table view cell view model. Now we obviously should create this. That would be awesome. So this can compile. Alrighty, so this is going to be a RM location table view cell view model. And instead of making this optional, which will kind of get annoying after a while because we'll have to unwrap it a bunch, we'll just make it an empty collection by default. So let me give this a build and run. And of course it's going to yell at me because I've said the delegate in data source is self, where in reality we haven't conformed to any of those protocols here. So I'm going to come down here and add a mark, and we're going to attempt to spell things correctly, and we will extend this view to conform to first the data source, and maybe we'll just do the delegate here as well instead of having a million extensions. And what we'll want here is number of rows for a section. We want to return our location table view, or location cell view models, I should say. And the reason I'm able to just hard code it to this is because I know that characters and episodes use a collection view. So our collection view will need to kind of have a generic way to figure out, we can't just hard code it, right? Like we'll need to know which type of view model. But for table view, we know that table view will only house our location stuff. Therefore I can do this. So we also want cell for row, and we can say guard let cell is our table view. We're going to dequeue a reusable cell, and the identifier will be our location table view cell dot cell identifier for index path. We also want to cast this to the appropriate cell type. And if we don't actually get the cell, we're going to say failed to dequeue this type of cell. And then finally down here, I can say return cell. And here we'll say cell configure with, and we want to actually configure with the view model. So we'll say this will be our location cell view models at the given index path dot row, if autocomplete decides to get its life together. So we're going to say index path.row. So good deal. So this looks like it's correct. We'll also want to handle tapping on a cell. So we're going to say did select row and index path, and we'll want to deselect it, which is just unhighlight. Let's go ahead and give it a run, and let's see if we get our location cells. All right, let's search for Earth in here. We'll hit search, and I don't see any cells. What the heck happened? So this yellow thing is definitely our table view, and let's just validate. It is our table view. I don't see the background color. Let me see where on Earth I put it. Okay, here it is. The background color of our table view is yellow. All right. We have laid it out appropriately, it looks like. And we should be calling this setup table view as well. So let me toss a breakpoint in there, and we're going to debug this together. I think I just need to reload data. All right, we certainly hit this. Alrighty, I got rid of the yellow, but down here, let's move this assignment down here, such that the data source is assigned first. And I think what it will do, whoops, we want to actually go to location. I believe the way that the lifecycle works is that it will implicitly try to do a reload data when I assign that data source and show our cell, but it looks like it didn't. So let's see what the heck happened. So I'm going to print out viewModels.count here, and I'll also do a reload data for the sake of having it be explicit. Let's come back here to location search, and I'm going to clear out the console, and we'll type in Earth. Hit search. Oh, and look at that. That time it actually worked because, of course, I did the reload data, and in our console we got 20 results. All right, cool. Definitely works. Let's get rid of the print. So we're certainly not handling pagination, but what we could handle in a simple way is selecting one of these and showing the results. Right now, we don't have a background color, which I don't think is particularly a big deal for the cell. We can customize the UI later, but at least our search is working. So let's see if we find like Galaxy. I'm like kind of making these up. Home? Is that a thing? Nope, that's not a thing either. Let's try Rick. Okay, cool. So we got Citadel of Ricks. So if I tap on this, I want it to open the results. Maybe that's what we'll do in this video as well, and then we'll wrap it up. So we have this delegate for the table view here already, which is all good and well. What we'll want to do is notify our controller, right? So what I'll do here is I'm going to have the protocol for this. I'll make this the delegate, any object, so we can hang on to it as a weak reference. And the only function I'll have here is rm search results view, and we'll say did tap location with, or did tap, and maybe here I'll just say location, which is rm location. I don't actually remember if I can get this out of the view model, but we'll find out momentarily. And I'll make this here a weak var delegate. And when I tap on this guy here, I should be able to say self, and I want to get the view model at the nth position that I tapped, which is basically what I've done here already. So I can say let view model is this, and this view model has a location on it, maybe not. Okay, so let's see how we are creating this location controller. So we have, I believe, a location detail controller, something along those lines. Let me see what on earth I called it. All right, we've got a location detail view controller, and this gets created with a RM location. Alrighty, so we probably need to hang on to the location that we got in our search results view model. So this is not actually going to be that simple. Let's come back here. Let's go to our view models, and let me go to our location table view cell view model. And let's see if I can find it. There it is. So this guy actually does hold the location internal to it. So what I could do is I could just publicize it here. However, that kind of defeats the purpose of making it private. So instead of cheating, what I will do is as follows. So I'll say did tap, and I am going to say, let's do it this way. So let's say did tap location at, and I'm going to pass back the index path dot row. So instead of even getting the view model here, we're going to let our delegate know that we tapped a location with the given position. So did tap location at index, which will be an integer. Okay, cool. So that is building. Now we want to actually conform to this, and we hold on to this view in the RM search view where the results are held onto. So I'm going to come into here and extend this. I'll say extension RM search view, this guy, and we have a single function in here, and I'll just do location tapped. And in the constructor of the RM search view, I will also go and say results view dot delegate is self, which is great. Now in here, I want to get the location at the given index of our tap. And what we should do, the appropriate thing to do would basically be in our search views view model, we want to not just trash the model that powers our results. We want to more or less hold on to it. So here we are converting our model here. Are we hanging on to this anywhere? I don't believe we in fact are. So what I will do is we should probably hang on to this model here. So let me see where we are getting this. We're basically just processing this. So what I'll say here is if we do have a result VM, we'll say search result model is going to be our model, and that's the thing that we're passing into this function. So hopefully that is clear, and this is going to be something that's codable, and this property will be nullable. So let me do this up here. It's going to be private, and this is going to be codable, like so. Okay, cool. So now that we've got this on here, what we really want to do back in our search view is we have this position. So I'm going to say what we want is guard let location model. And this model should be from our view model, location search result at index. So that's essentially kind of what kind of function we want. Obviously it doesn't exist, so we're going to write it right now. So let me jump back into here, and at the very bottom here, I'll create this function. It's going to be public. It's basically going to return to us a location model, optional, RM location optional, from our result. So up here, we now hold this globally, but we do need to still downcast it to the response. So I'll say guard let search model is this thing, as a RM location or get all location response. Once we have casted it, what we want to do is we want to return off of this search model. I think this has a collection on it called results, and we want the nth element. So hopefully not too confusing. Let's see why this is yelling at me. So here this is yelling at me because I never completed this statement. All right, so we've got this here, and before we continue, let's actually print this thing out to make sure that we actually are getting the appropriate model out. Build and run. I'm gonna open our console here with the Command-Shift-Y. We'll jump into location, search. I'm gonna clear any nonsense in here, and I'll search for Earth because I know that has results. Boom, okay, nothing there. I'll select this, and it successfully got that location model. Cool, good deal. The last thing we'll do, and I feel like I've said that already, is we need to just pass this up one more level via the search views delegate. So I'll copy and paste this method, and this is going to be did select location, and it'll take a location of type rmLocation, and we'll simply call this here to implement that function in the search view controller to open the location detail. So here, this will be did select location self location model. Whoops, that's not what we want. So location model, I'll get rid of that print. We'll have an error if we try to build because we need to conform to that new function we added on the delegate for our search view. Luckily, autocomplete does a lot of this heavy lifting for us, which is really nice. Cool, so then what we'll need to do is the last piece, which is create the RM location detail view controller. A lot of reusability going on here, which is awesome. I always love to see it. Pass in our location. And I think that's all we need to do. We can just push this now. Notification controller. We want to push this guy. All right, let me just do a Command-Shift-F of this instantiation and see how we did it elsewhere in the location view. Looks like we did set the large title display mode to never. So I will also do that here. And let's give it a run and we'll see how many things I broke along the way. So we'll go to location. Alrighty, we'll go to Earth, hit enter. The first one is Earth, C137. Open that up and boom, we get that location. So here's a location, here's the name, it's a planet, here are all the characters that reside there. And this is actually all coming together pretty nicely now. So I can go into a character and it's kind of, everything is hooked up, and because of our degree of like reusability, it's pretty fluid to navigate through all this stuff now, which is really awesome. So let's do planet, or let me do cluster. Does Earth exist as a cluster? Probably not. Apparently it does. So let's see, is it not updating? Okay, it definitely is updating, which is awesome. Okay, so cool. That is location search in a nutshell. Again, there was some complexity to handle of getting the model out in a kind of correct way and not just exposing it from the cells view model. We certainly are not paginating or paginating, however you say it. But we got this working. Next up, we're going to start getting this collection view for the results going so we can render results for both episodes and search. And then we're going to work on pagination and results. And we are also going to work on pagination for location, because I don't think we did this yet. Yeah, I remember I forgot to do this. So that's all I got for you guys this time. Drop a like before clicking away. Throw a comment down below. Say hello. Tell me how much you love iOS, if you use SwiftUI, UIKit. Always great to hear from y'all, and also helps for video reach and engagement and all that metric stuff that I'm supposed to care about. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in part 50. I think 50 is the next one if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty nuts. So see you guys there.